Hello, everybody, and welcome to News and Views for July the 3rd, 2025. Lots coming up this weekend. Of course, we are in a bit of a heat wave, so stay safe out there. But we're down in Carberry. We have the Carberry Fair and Races. Every summer, they do this with the Chariot and Chuck Wagon races, a big draw for everybody to check that out. So if you're out and about this weekend, it's the time to go down to Carberry. Now, a big announcement from the province just today, like just maybe an hour ago now. They announced $4.8 million in funding for highways in Neepawa specifically. Now, this is not all new. $2 million of this was announced earlier this spring. That is for the Hamilton Street extension. The other $2.8 million is for the connection between Highway 16 and all the other roads they're doing in the back end there for the new hospital and future development, including the school, etc. So that is going to be starting very soon. Tenders have gone out for that work. And the two halves of the project are now coordinated. And the portion that is the connection to Highway 16 is expected to be complete by this fall. So you will see activity there very soon. That is what that is. So we have 3 items on the show today. First of all, we were down at the Bisdak Victory Celebration, the victors from Filipino Heritage Celebrations here. And there we have them talking about the celebration, about the cultural identity, the meaning of that, and also just a few clips here and there of the fun that was had by everyone at the celebration. We were also down at Canada Day. Again, lots of fun and games, music, and celebrations down at the park on Canada Day. And finally, we were at a book signing out at the library. This was a book signing by Keith Byram, who was originally from the Oberon area here, moved to the Yukon, has had an engineering firm there for decades. Now, he has written a book about his experiences engineering and constructing infrastructure in Antarctica. If you can imagine what that was like. So he has signed and donated that book to the Neepawa Library. So we have a talk with him on the show today as well. And there will be a longer version of that elsewhere in the schedule. We had quite the conversation with him. His life experiences are fascinating. So if you have anything that's going on, anything of interest to us here at the station or to anyone in the community, if you have anything filmed that you would like to just send us, please do get in touch. We would love to have the opportunity to air that or to work with you on projects. So the number to reach us is 204-476-2639. Or you can reach us by email, nactv@wcgwave.ca. Thanks and enjoy the show.
We need your presence here, please. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Maayong hapon sa tanan. For our esteemed guests, for our donors, sponsors, volunteers, family and friends, welcome. Maayong hapon sa tanan. What a joy to see everyone's smiling face. We are all here not just gathered for a celebration, but rather our story about strength, about our community, and about unity. Kabalo ba mo kung unsay tawag, unsa nang pinaka-taas nga satbot? What is considered as the tallest grass? Anybody knows? Kawayan? Bamboo? Exactly. What we considered or called as the highest grass is bamboo. And bamboo starts from humble beginnings. They start small. They turn into big trees. They become sturdy. They become resilient. They become strong. Just like Bisdak, we start from humble beginnings. Although from humble beginnings we become strong, we become tall, we become imposing, but the winds of life blows. We tend to feel where stones are thrown our way, hardships, storms of uncertainty, and we bow down under pressure. but we never break. Dili basta-basta ang mga bisdak. Dili basta-basta mabangbang. Dili mabali. Dili maputol. Pagpus, mutindog. Stand up, mupadayon. Ang bisdak, bahalag matumba. Mukirig pa. Pero mutindog yapon. Mupadayon, mupalagwa. We basically come from a lineage of warriors. Insay nakabalog, insay pirmiro natong bayani. Insay bayani nato. Pinaka-pirmiro natong bayani. Kinsa? Insay Genji ang bayani? Kinsa? Who is considered the first hero of the Philippines? Lapu-Lapu. Bayani at bayani. Lapu-lapu, pula-pula, ano man. Because we are sun-drenched skin. Mga pula ta, dili tungod kay nakainom na tagpino. Okay? We come from a lineage of warriors, not because we fought for the glory and power, but for those who fought for others. Maunang Bisdak, that is what is Bisdak stands for. They fought, they fight, they support, they push others, especially Bisdak members. We carry with us seeds of who we are, wherever life plants us, whether in Neepawa, in Winnipeg, or any other part of the world. We grow, we thrive, and we conquer. The journey hasn't been easy. Lisod kayo. Dagan sa ato, niabot diri. Walay kailaw, walay parente. Pero we strive, we grow, and we conquer. That is what Bisdak is. We always show up, and we always support each other. Whether in time, talent, or in effort, and simply through presence. Today's celebration is a proof of that resilience. This isn't just a party. This is the culmination, a victory of every volunteer, every donor, every performer, every supporter. To those who gave financially, from the bottom of our hearts, we thank you. But most of all, to those who gave their time, their skill, their hearts, and their tears. Katubitaw na what we call silent supporters. Katong nagpakilidra, nagpaklikudra, nagpahipi-hipi-ra. Pero maunang sila ang nangadji, they pray, they clap the loudest, they shout the loudest. Unang among pasalamatan. Laban ni si Randiray, katong mga silent supporters nato. Hello, Bisdak. Laban mo dire? Bisdak. What do you always shout out when we have the Bisdak team coming in? Go Bisdak? Go Bisdak? Go Bisdak? Is that all you got? Go Bisdak!
Go Bisdak! Why sarado?
Go Bisdak! Sarado. Monang Bisdak. Gahi sa tanan. Di basta magmalupit. Strong, unyielding, united. And let us continue to stand as one. Let us just gather when it's grand, but take part in every celebration, in every project, in every kind of context. We share under the Bisdak banner. To everyone present and could not make it today, this victory is yours. Padayon mga kabisdak, nagsugod pa lang ta, this is just the beginning. Daghang salamat.
When I feel so sad and blue, when my life seems failing through, I wish you're here beside me. dream come true. Come, my darling, and embrace me. This is what you're gonna do. Kiss me in the morning. Kiss me in the night. Kiss me in the daytime. Kiss me all the time. Hold me, darling. Hold me really tight. Kiss me, hold me, hug me, darling, with all your might. I kiss me in the morning. I kiss me in the night. I kiss me in the daytime. Kiss me all the time. Hold me, darling. Hold me really tight. Kiss me, hold me, hug me, darling, with all your might.
Thanks, Jody. As I said, if you live long enough, you get all these awards. It's nice to be back in Neepawa. I didn't grow up here, but both Gwen and I were born here in Neepawa, and she grew up in town, and I came from out in the little country store where Oberon was. Not much left there anymore, but that's where I started off. And then Gwen and I went to high school when we were in school, and then we kind of drifted apart. She went to study nursing and me engineering, and then one day we happened to run into each other, and at that time she was just moving to Dauphin and I was moving to New York and Saskatchewan to build a radar station. We used to meet in Robin, and then we got married and had 3 fine daughters. All 3 were here this week, but 2 have gone back. Jennifer's still here. She'll take us back a little bit. And so it's always nice to get back to Neepawa. We used to come here to visit Gwen's mother, Frankie Thompson, when she was still alive. And she lived just in the next building here, I guess, in her later years. Thompson, the Yellowhead Center, it's called. And so anyway, we had a various and interesting life so far. And one of the things that was particularly interesting was this Arctic Runway project. And in the fall of 1988, Gwen said to me one day, "Why are you always taking that piece of paper out of your shirt pocket and reading it?" And I said, "Well, it's something out of the Journal of Commerce. It's an ad saying that British Antarctic Survey are conducting a worldwide search for contractors with cold weather experience." And she said, "Are you crazy?" And I said, no, that's us. And so we, my partner at the time and myself, Norm Kelly, we flew over to England to the initial meeting, and turned out that a classmate of mine, Dr. Ken Adam from Winnipeg, was the head designer of this project in Antarctica for the British government, and which had nothing to do with us getting the job, but it was nice to know that it was a Canadian project. And when we went to the meeting, the large British contractors all said that they would not bid it. They would boycott it unless it was done on a cost-plus basis. So, but the Ken Adams company and the British government decided that no, they would do it on a firm price lump sum basis plus unit prices for materials that varied. And and that's the way it went. So we eventually got shortlisted to 4 companies worldwide, one from Holland, one from the British, the islands off Britain, and one from Toronto and us. And so we were selected to go on a site visit, one person from each company, the 4 companies. And so I flew over to England, and we took at that time there was no commercial flights to the Falkland Islands, so we went on a wide-bodied Royal Air Force jet from England to Falklands, which is an 18-hour trip with a stop in Ascension Island for fuel. And then from there we went on board the British survey, the research ship that belonged to the British Antarctic Survey, from the Falklands, 10 days around the Horn and down the peninsula to Rothera. And we were only on the peninsula, or at the site for 2 days, and then we made our way back to South America and then home. And it was a 28-day trip with 2 days to look the job over. And then we eventually got the job, and the logistics were horrendous. I mean, the work was the same work that we always do, drill and blast and move rock and dirt and crush gravel. But the logistics was something, because the British government gave us no help in that part of the job. We had to figure it out ourselves, and we had to, for instance, find a ship. We had a broker in London, England, a broker in Vancouver, looking worldwide for a ship that would take all our stuff. 1.25 million liters of fuel, food for 70 people for 2 years, 2 seasons, all our machinery and equipment, explosives, somehow to get from the ship to the shore, which meant getting a tug and building a cradle, and we found a bunch of portable barges in Texas that we had to haul up to Vancouver, and they're essentially 40 foot by 10 foot by 5 foot deep tanks, and all pinned together to form any size barge you wanted. So we had 2 90 foot by 40 foot barges. So that as the ship, when the ship finally got down there, it just said there was no place to tie it up, so we just did a controlled drift in the ocean for 9 days while we unloaded it onto the barges and pushed everything ashore. So it was quite exciting times, and particularly exciting because we had very little money.
Virtually none.
And the ship required, like for instance, required $1.5 million before it even leave Europe, and we had to come up with that somehow, which we did. And it was very successful. We were there for 2 years. The ocean-going wharf to accommodate ocean-going ships was not in the original plan, and between seasons we worked with the owner and the consultants to design this wharf and built that. And Jennifer was there, and she was a person of all trades. She sometimes was running the crusher control tower, and sometimes was working with the steel workers and or doing various equipment jobs. And I think she got a good initiation the first day she arrived there, because her first shift was 22 hours. The normal shift on site was 11 and a half, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, week after week after week. And there was no days off really at all. And we did have the odd little bit of recreation. We had a golf tournament one day, and the welder made up golf clubs out of rebar and pieces of steel. And, it all went well. And the details are all contained in here. And Patricia Cunning, my co-writer, was traveling on the plane with me back from a mine opening, and the guy that owned the mine said, "Patricia, you should talk to Keith about his experiences in Antarctica." And that's how this got started. And we worked on it for about 3 years before it got published. But even myself reading it, sometimes I get tears in my eyes when I think back about it, and I also think back about how the hell did we ever do this? I hope if you're interested, you'll get a chance to read this book, and I hope you find it interesting.
Well, Keith, on behalf of the town of Neepawa, we congratulate you on your book, but also on quite an amazing life that you've had. Farm away from Oberon, eh? Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah, there was a lot of strange things came out of this job too. Like our oldest daughter Karen became one of the biggest alpaca farmers in the United States. She ended up with her and her husband 800 alpacas, and she got that idea when she was looking after our logistics in Punta Arenas, Chile.
Yeah.
And went on a little tour with some of her friends, and she ended up getting a ranch in Washington, and flew 323 alpacas on a chartered jet from southern Chile to New York. So there's a whole bunch of stories like that. Didn't have really anything to do with the project, but resulted from it.
Yeah.
I'll just sign this up for the museum. Thank you very much, Jody, for organizing this.
Thank you. Congratulations. So I just want to welcome everyone. We have coffee and snacks in the back for anybody that wants to join us or maybe have further discussion here with our guest of honor, Keith. And I also, again, want to say thank you to Mayor Brian Heavy, but also to the Neepawa Library for accommodating us today. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Neepawa.